What's up, guys? Hi, and welcome to Uncle Scott's Kitchen. We're going to cook some freaking French fries today. I'm really interested to learn how this Breville Control Freak induction burner performs at deep frying. So what we're going to do is cook some freaking French fries in beef tallow on the Control Freak and find out. And that's plenty of alliteration. Let's start by prepping the taters, precious, and get these guys ready to go. What I've got here are some supermarket ginormous GMO russet bakers. And what I'm gonna do is give them a good scrub, get them peeled, a task which I somewhat ironically find unappealing. Give them a good rinse and then place them underwater in this Cambro container, which comes in very handy for tasks like this. Keeps the potatoes from browning before we can turn them into fries. Now, one question I often get when I do French fry videos is, if you're going to peel your potatoes, why do you bother washing them to begin with? Because you know how much chance I want of any dirt in my food? None. Now I'm going to hand cut these guys, and for whatever reason, I find hand cutting fries to be somewhat relaxing. Really enjoy doing this. Here, going to square off these potatoes. It may seem a little bit wasteful, but I usually do cook these ends separately. And this is a presentation fry, so I like the squared off edges so I can keep my fries uniform. I mean, pick whatever you like. I like about 3/16 of an inch or so. And because these are big potatoes and long fries, I'm using my Kramer 10-inch carbon steel chef's knife, which really works well for food this long. And I'm gonna add these fries back to the container of water and let them soak for an hour or so. And when I'm ready to start cooking, I drain and rinse those potatoes. You can really see some of the starch that came off the potatoes there. And then I'm gonna lay these out on towels and make sure they are as dry as possible. You don't want to add really wet food to hot grease as a general rule. And then I'm gonna toss these guys in a big spoon or two of cornstarch. Now, to do the frying, I'm going to use my Staub enameled cast iron Dutch oven. This is a 7-quart, a very big, heavy Dutch oven. And here I've replaced the regular knob with the decorative cow knob, which I think when you're cooking with beef tallow really improves the flavor of the food. And for the beef tallow, here I'm going to use some of this South Chicago Packing Wagyu tallow, about $9 zillion for 2 pounds of this stuff. And I'm using a container and a half, so right at 3 pounds of tallow. Now for the Control Freak, normally it uses this temperature sensor in the middle of the cooking surface to determine the temperature of the pan that you're using. I'm going to use the probe thermometer option here. So you plug this in and this probe goes down into the oil, and it uses the temperature at the tip of the probe to set the temperature of the unit. So what I'm going to do here, there's a special oil setting, and what I'm going to do is select that oil setting and dial in 360 degrees, and that will heat the Dutch oven until that oil temperature at the tip of the probe is 360. I've actually got a lot of fries to cook here, so I'm going to work in batches. And we're going to cook these fries twice. We're going to par cook them initially, and that will kind of help get the interiors up to temperature and the interiors cooked. We're going to pull them out and let them rest, and then we will cook them a second time, which will add the color and crunch to the exterior. And when the oil is up to temperature, I'm going to try and carefully lay the fries in away from my body. And here I only splash myself with hot oil once. We got good sizzling here, and the oil temperature, interestingly, drops 70 to 80 degrees. So from 360 down to 280, 290. And I think one reason for that, for this initial fry, is not only are the potatoes at room temperature, but there is some moisture on these guys, even though I dried them. So you see quite a bit of steam being released, and that is taking some heat away. Now I'm par cooking these, and I don't want them to brown on the first fry. I'll let them go until they are a pale yellow. It's going to depend on the thickness of the fry and the oil temp, but these took about 5 minutes. And I note that the Control Freak rebounded the oil temp up to about 320 during the first fry. I removed these to a wire rack and let them rest. We're going to crunch these up and brown them up here in just a minute on the second fry. Now we're having cheeseburgers and fries for supper, so we're trying to get the timing right here with the second frying. You might notice some burgers in the background. I'm cooking those up in my Smithy cast iron. It does a great job. And here I've got the second fry going. I have let the oil come up to 360 once again, adding back batches of the par-cooked fries. And here this does not take nearly as long, 2 to 3 minutes. And the oil temperature does not drop as far as with that first par cooking. It only drops down into the 330s, 340 or so, and then it comes back up to 360 as the fries cook. And here you just have to watch the fries and pull them out when they are the color and crunch that you like. Pull these out to another wire rack. You got to salt these guys immediately so that with that hot grease on the fry, some of that salt kind of sticks to them. And absolutely delicious fries. We chowed down the entire batch. Perfect complement to cheeseburgers at home. And I'm gonna note that I had 2 people over for supper who had never tried beef tallow fries, and they thought they tasted delicious, and we all thought that they did indeed kind of taste like those McDonald's fries used to taste back in the day. And for the Control Freak, I thought for deep frying in a 7-quart Dutch oven using the temperature probe, it actually did a very good job. When the oil temperature would drop, that probe, since the drop in temperature, kick the unit on, and it would bring it back up to heat. So I really did like that. So give these tallow fries a try and let me know what you think. If you're interested in a Control Freak, a Dutch oven, a knife, or any of the other equipment in this video, I will put links and more information below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time on Uncle Scott's Kitchen.